Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imaginando, and I'm back with another DRC tutorial. So today I'm going to show you how to make the bass in some sounds from the song The Tunnel by Richie Hawtin. We got some nice sounds, we got a nice bass and some hypnotic sounds on this track. But due to time constraints, and since this isn't a drum tutorial, don't mind the drums. There might not be exactly the same as the original song, but the idea here is to show you how to make these synths. So let's get right into it. And let's start with a bass that sounds like this. Okay, and bring back the default patch. And first thing I'm going to do is drop an octave. Change to a square wave, performance mode from poly to unison, and now let's drop the master to 800, and the oscillator 1 to 500, and pre-gain to 600. Now drop the cutoff filter to 284. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oscillator 1 at maximum. Envelope generator 2 at 219, sorry. Can be here, and cutoff at 128. Okay, 128. Okay. Now let's go to this LFO1, drop it to 314, change the waveform to a filtered sample and hold, and now we go back to oscillator 1 and raise. Since this is a square wave, we can change the pulse width with modulation, and it's called pulse width modulation that we're going to modulate with the LFO1, and so we raise it to 416. Okay, like this. So we have this movement going on. Now for the first envelope generator 1 that controls the amplitude of the sound, let's raise the attack to 030. Decay 500, sustain 800, and release 300. For the second envelope generator, decay and sustain at maximum. Like this, and it's perfect. Finally, we just need to raise the decay to 530 on the reverb and raise the amount to 298. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the second sound. Has this delay, which I'm going to turn off for now here, but it still has its own delay. I just have a notch filter here on the 80 Hertz. And what I'm going to do now is bring back the default patch. Change the performance mode to unison. Change the waveform to a triangle wave. And now master at 800. Pre-gain at 600, and oscillator 1 at 500. Okay, now let's drop the cutoff to 284. Okay, and now for the first envelope generator, let's raise the attack to 94. About 500 decay, 800 sustain, 300 release, and for the second envelope generator, 230 decay, 400 sustain, and 100 release. So what we're going to do now is go to the delay, raise the amount to 497, about there, turn on sync, raise the decay to 1/4, feedback at 276, Okay. And now let's go to the VCA and raise the keyboard to 569. This means the higher the note, the higher the volume. And finally we go to the reverb, raise the amount to 191. And decay at 874. Okay, like this. Okay, perfect. So now let's go to the third sound, sorry, which is this one. And first thing I'm going to do is change it to a default patch. Change the oscillator to a triangle wave. Master again at 800. Pre-gain at 600. And oscillator 1 at maximum. Now drop the envelope generator to amount to 313. Cut off at 442. And now on the first envelope generator, 024 for the attack, decay sustain at maximum, and on the second envelope generators, decay and sustain at maximum. On the first envelope generator, remember to drop the release to 170. Okay, now we go to the VCA and raise the velocity to 283. This will increase the sensitivity of the velocity to volume. And finally, we go to the reverb, give 249 amount. And decay of 517. Okay. Now, blessed sound. Here we have a filter with 979 hertz. It's a high pass on 979 hertz, and then we have a high shelf of about 2 dBs on 3.44 kilohertz. Now let's bring back this sound to a default patch. Okay, and drop the master to 578. Pre-gain at 407. Okay, and now envelope generator 2 amount to 550. Cut off to 730. And resonance at maximum. Now we go to the LFO2, turn the sync on and put it at 1/16 dotted. Change the waveform to a filtered sample and hold. And raise the LFO2 amount, controlling the cutoff to maximum. Now for the first envelope generator, sustain at 0 and decay at 334. Okay, release at 121. And on second envelope generator, decay at 0, sustain at 0, decay at 182. And release at 413. Okay, finally, I'm just going to show you how the delays are done here. And here we have a K7D, so we have two sends with equal delays and some differences on them. It's a 1/8 dotted time with stereo width, full whoa, and no feedback. And then we got a reverb, which is quite metallic and medium room. And on the second one, I've got the same thing, but on the middle we have a high pass filter after the delay on 563 hertz. So now let's listen to the melody that I've recorded before. Bear with me just a second while I get this ready. Okay, it's ready, so let's now listen. And this was it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. We have new content coming up, and we have it every week. We just had 1 month of stoppage time. So if you like our content, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We will be back next week. Goodbye, everyone.